We are looking at number 6 on the story of Latrobe, how it came about, how it developed, and people, places, and things involved in the story. This is how the last one ended. Number 5 ended with Loyal Hannah Brewing, and I wasn't sure just where it was. And in the meantime, I have managed to find out where Loyal Hannah Brewing Company was located. It was located very close to the brewing company that most people know about. This is Rolling Rock right here, or it was the way it started out. This mapping is from about 1903. This over here was Loyal Hannah Brewing Company, right at the corner of Jefferson and Oak. This is what we were looking at right about up here. This in yellow, what we're seeing is the original size of Latrobe as it was laid out in 1851. And we can see by all this stuff out here that it's really developed in the meantime. What we're going to see right now is how it has developed from this point down this way. We're going to see a plan of lots. This is Ligonier Street coming in to Latrobe. These are lots laid out for domestic development houses. What we're going to talk about is, or are, two things. This is Latrobe Steel right here. This over here originally was planned and started as a operation that made agricultural implements like mowers and reapers. And we'll start looking at this right here. This was a building that was under construction in 1892. This shows the finished state of it. And by 1903, it was something else. It was a machine shop and also functioning as a powerhouse for the Latrobe Streetcar Company. And in the very next year, 1904, it'll be something else yet. This just gives a really nice view of that area. This is the Enterprise we were just looking at. You'll notice it has a tower in the front and a place between these two other areas, but this is going to disappear as time goes by. Over here is Latrobe Steel. Now here, we looked down from the air in 1939. Over here you can see some of the large buildings of Latrobe Steel. This is the building that by using wool garments, actually. It's a long story and I'm not going to go into all of it. But you can see it still has the front piece which had the tower, but it was removed as time went on. The tower was in this area right here. This photograph is from the 1990s when Habs Hair, that's a Park Service division, was recording it as a place where purse manufacturing one time had an operation going on. That was one of the operations of the Harmony Society, which is a very unusual kind of outfit. I mean, you could call them a cult and not be, not be very far off. They had come from Germany, and they settled Harmony, Pennsylvania, moved on to Ambridge, but they were very industrious Germans, but they were a celibate group. So if they didn't marry, they really didn't continue too long, but they lasted long enough to attract, people to join them. and carry on a lot of manufacturing enterprises. One was the making of wool blankets. They started that in the early 1800s, and by 1904 they moved to Latrobe because since they were making wool, a lot of their wool came from around Latrobe because there were a lot of sheep farmers. This is another shot. It just shows in this center area where the tower had once located, it's now empty. But this is still there. And it has been repurposed. Once again, OPCO has it. They use it to make their products. They make stuff out of polystyrene, which is styrofoam. They make insulation, they make containers. This is what we were just looking at right here. This building from the air. Down here, this has appeared. This is called Latrobe Electrical Steel, or Latrobe Electric Steel, which started up in 1913. And this is the old Latrobe Steel, which began about 1888. And we'll see some more about that. 4 years later, 1892, this is the progress of Latrobe Steel. This is the Loyal running by, a couple railroad tracks coming in to transport their products. About 11 years later, this is how they had developed, and you'll see that as the years went by, they really became a huge operation. As a matter of fact, this building here was something they really had bragging rights about. For a number of years, they used to say it was the largest building in, well, I want to jokingly say the universe, but we know that's not true. I'm not sure, but over the years, it was eclipsed by some other more huge building. But this is what Latrobe Steel developed into, a really big, humongous outfit. This is from the air, almost right now. This is the building where the Harmony Society, which later was bought out by Woolrich, made their wool products. This over here is Latrobe Steel. This out here is Ligonier Street. In our next view, we'll be looking at that from out on Ligonier Street. This is out Ligonier Street here. We're looking back here. You can see the roof monitors from some of the old factory buildings back here. Still there and doing other business. It's Lehigh Specialty Melding is running it. This is the American Legion.